Hey, we're back with another video. Hey, look, I've being consistent with something other than just playing a video game every day and way too much. So, I had a pretty cool game just now, and I think I've learned a lot of things in the last week or two. I think we're up to we're floating around like 28 OS right now, 29. It's going up and down. But, I've learned my lesson with some things and some other stuff. And, well, when you learn one thing, you slack on another. So, but this was a really cool game. There's some terrifying stuff you can do on the front, especially on a map like Glitters. Maybe this was a good one too with the naval. And okay, so I just want to ask if anybody wants me to review replays, I will consider it. If you find me on the bar Discord and send me a replay, Twitch or it's Annihilator. Find me on there, send me a replay. I might look at it. If I have anything good to say, I'll anyway. Yeah. Yeah, just or if you want me to just completely lay into, I can do that too. But yeah, another glitters. Maybe we'll do a bonus with sulfur because C is really important. I love doing C. It makes or breaks. So you if you want to pull your weight in OS, you want to have good C gameplay under your belt. But yep, we're gonna do more glitters to start. There's some things that I've changed in my gameplay recently. So first is even on glitters, I'm just making a ton of solar. I'm not even like. So the thing is, in my mind, the consideration is that you have trouble spending that metal early on anyway. So I build a bunch of solars, and the average wind is like on glitters, it's 12. So one solar is on average going to be about 2 windmills. Plus, well, I definitely will transition to wind, but I will make solar when as needed. What am I thinking? Oh yeah, and they don't cost energy, so you can get your cons out really early. Like one of my favorite builds is, well, I haven't done this in like a week, but the no max opener before cons, or the no max before your cons opener. I like that one. It'd be cool to try to do with solar, but I haven't tried it, and it's really metal expensive. So I'm sorry, Stewie. He wants attention or food or both. But yeah, we gotta play the video game. What is wrong, dude? Wind no good. Yeah, and then it starts out with like, okay, you got 4 wind. I don't even have to worry about that. I'm just chilling. For the first minute or two, I can just sit over there and play my drum set while this build order plays out. So here's the normal thing. I'm watching my energy, make sure I'm not overflowing. I will assist out my con whenever I can. Continue to make solar. I just don't want to waste the energy. So I'll make solar as I'm doing things. Like this guy's like, oh, the wind sucks. And I'm like, see if I care. So this is pretty well executed. At this point, maybe 5 solars, but you don't want to stall on M. So one thing you don't want to do is You want to have a bunch in the bank, at least enough in the bank to have your cons be building the max at the optimal, the max pace that they can. If you're stalling on M or E, that's not going to be great. So I think that was a consideration I made by not making a third solar. I think in this one I even started making the fifth solar, but then I stopped midway and then finished it later. It's no, I didn't quite do that. I just started walking and didn't finish it, and I was like, "Oh, gotta cap it." Okay. The next thing that you want to do. See, I get 3 cons out. The third one is assisting my factory. This might be a little unsafe. You want a few grunts. It can be unsafe to not have your grunts or pawns out or whatever. And like I had a game earlier and I just like rage quit because I was up here and 3 people all dived me with blitz and thugs and everything, and no one else was. This guy over here was at front, but his lane was just jumping on me because he wasn't paying attention. It was really frustrating. I just left. Screw those guys. I made a radar. You don't necessarily have to do it, but I do want to be keeping an eye out for my teammates. So if I'm not taking pressure or receiving pressure, I will go help somebody else who is possibly ill-prepared, because my team's success is my own success, or aids in my own success. And you can see, like, these earlier on, there's not a whole lot of harassment happening, but I'm prepared for this. Like, so if I didn't have the grunts, the incisors would just like they could possibly be walking around my turrets and then getting back here and just being annoying. And then back here, maybe I'm not making enough units. I'm being pretty greedy with the cons. I've been doing that a lot lately. And I'm not afraid to make more solar. I'm not spending the metal anyway. And you want to be careful because these turrets don't fire. They require energy to shoot. So you don't want that. You don't want to e-stall and then have your turrets just be doing nothing. That's not fun. This gets through, but at the very least I have grunts. I hope I've replaced that relatively quickly. And I'm also noticing when my teammate is not taking their mechs, I will take their mechs. And if I'm feeling nice, I will actually gift them a con or just the mechs. Like in this case, like Orange just isn't taking his mechs, so I'm gonna help him with that. Over here, generally probably the same thing. I might have not even been paying too close attention to this, so I ended up keeping it. So, the other thing, once I get up here, I'm gonna make a second bot factory to like spam thugs, and I might be skimping on turrets, but this is a cool interaction that I had, or that we had. Obviously, this went really well for me, so that's why I was so excited about commenting on this replay. I'm curious. I'm just gonna look over here. I've been streaming on Twitch instead of YouTube lately, last few days. Just because. Well, just because. I mean, no one watches me on either, so why not? Why not do it on Twitch? It doesn't say, ooh, copyright, because I'm listening to copyrighted music, even though when I go and look at no copyright sounds, it still puts copyrighted music on there. But I digress. this time I've been not building con turrets on the front at all. I've just been making resbots, but this time I decided on the construction turrets. And that might have been why I was stalling on E earlier. So looks like I need to once again remember to make energy storage here. This is annoying. Okay, so pounders, I guess they're probably kind of good against thugs. I have no idea. But tanks aren't frontline units like that. They have the benefit of like speed and stuff like that, and just kind of like going around and destroying everything at speed. But if it's a static fight, it's always gonna go towards the light plasma bots. They have a little bit. Let's see if he even has a stout or whatever the Cortex medium tank is. I have no idea. Brute. I forgot what it was called. The pounders are good. Actually, they're pretty good against thugs because they do some splash damage. But they're still outranged by thugs. Thugs outrange everything vehicle T1 except for like artillery, I think. And I notice he's building this, and I'm just like, I'm so happy he's building that instead of units, because I know I'm going to win this battle, especially if he's building this before he's stabilized. So I just let him continue to build it, and I'm like fighting the urge, like I want to take out his mechs, I want to put up pressure, but I also just want him to dump all his energy and metal into this. So I ended up, I did get him to stop building it before it finished, which means I also don't get the wreck. But this continues going on. What I've actually, this is the terrifying thing with, like, okay, so people like love spamming Centurions and repairing it with the commander, but okay, this is how you fight Centurion spam. Go thugs and target the commander and the resbots. It's gonna take some micro, but they'll completely falter after that. Especially like repairing a commander takes a whole lot more BP to repair other things. And it has the build power to repair, blah 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 blah. Yeah, just scare away the commander, take out the resbots, and then pick off the Centurions, because people love repairing the Centurions and exploiting that. But there's ways around it, which is, you know, what I just said, what I was just explaining. So here, yeah, I did take the grunts out of my queue for the factory back there, but I've also taken all the BP off of this, and I'm trying to like have the mental capacity to have these resbots reclaim this factory, because I don't need to. This is up here, it's closer to the front line. I'll have my units built immediately. Works like a charm. My commander is over here taking any metal extractor spots that are available. And so I could have continued this fight and continued to win it, but I like that he's building this. And also I have my con turret back here, which is, you know, static, and it's okay to just back off. I just wanted to repair my thugs. This is the terrifying thing with bot micro, is having resbots and construction turrets and your commander repairing everything behind it. You can also do it with vehicles, but it's like what do you call it? It requires you to have two factories, basically, unless you want to forego the resbots. But like I said, their main strength is having like very beefy units that run around and harass, I think. Yeah, I think I didn't really go for rocket bots. I haven't really thought about that too much, but these were definitely, doing a pretty good job. But this guy's annoying me with these artillery, but, it's not really doing much damage, so I'll just, at my convenience, retaliate. As you can see, the pounders... The thugs aren't even in range most of the pounders aren't even in range most of the time. And I really like rezzing, but I don't have the energy to do it, so that's something that I need to fix. Another thing is it's often quicker to just reclaim and then rebuild the unit. It's just like it's what your economy is ready for, and the urgency of claiming the wreck. So Red was struggling this entire game, and I'm looking at this, and I really... He needs to repair his maces. He's kind of getting 2v1, which is, that happens. Some cool stuff happened over here. Looks like we got a comm. Things are generally going pretty good for me, or for us. Except that Red... I think I noticed earlier that he was like building energy buildings while trying to expand, which really put him behind in the long run. Because... And I vaguely remember this, I'm not 100% sure, but I think his commander was on high priority, which it still is. And it was building solar while he was metal stalling and trying to expand. So that just means that the mechs are going to get built slower. So everything's going to happen. The metal income's going to come in later, which is just going to slow everything down. So he's going to be struggling the entire match. And this gets really annoying because that means that blue is going to bleed over into my lane. But I'm dominating purple right now, so it's okay, I guess. I mean, it's really easy to tilt in this game, but you can kind of take... did he? I don't know exactly what happened there, if he actually got the reclaim on that. I don't know, that's weird. I wish I could back up and see what happened. He only has 2 constructors in his base assisting out units as well. And it's really annoying because in these situations you're doing really good, you're pushing hard, and then aid comes from other lanes and you're trying to do other things. Like, you have to decide between like what you're going to do with your metal. I tend to want to stay on T1 longer and longer as time goes on, so that I can just have more units and press the advantage, because taking mechs is much more efficient at T1, and then you can take the mechs and then go T2 basically. And then also I'm like waiting on this, but I wasn't even thinking about it. I wasn't prepared for it. I only have 5 cons back here. I think I end up only having 5 cons back here, but well, I'll have something to say about that later. But I haven't been doing vehicle constructors nearly as much lately to assist my T2 back here, because I'll be building a T2 bot lab, which is another thing. I've been going for bot labs a lot more, just because I love Twitchers and Butlers so much. Like, those have been... I've been relying on those almost exclusively for build power. It's just really annoying to micro. But once... over time, I'm getting better at it. So, even, like, I love going nuts on the eco, but it didn't go very well. And this is really annoying. I wish I mean, I'm having these grave robbers. I think, there's the thing in this game, like, you gotta choose, like, one thing at a time. There's a lot of situations where there's two things you can do. You can do both and fail at both, or do one very well. This is one of those cases where I'm, like, pushing into this while taking reclaim. And this does back him off, but I did lose some units and it's annoying. But basically what I'm saying is I'm reclaiming this metal while pushing, and these resbots can't reclaim and repair at the same time. And I would have preferred that I would have went for the repair first so that the reclaim would be more secure to get later on, and I wouldn't be losing units in the process. But, like, I'm annoyed because I can't be at two places at once, and I'm failing at some things, and, man, I just don't know why this happens, but I did decide to do some resing this game, and, of course, they res to 5% health and then move on. I don't know why that keeps happening. If it's a command that I'm doing, or is it just a random lobby bug? I don't know. Somebody said it's like a server bug. I don't know. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. But this is really good. See, I'm losing less units than I would. Someone in Canyon got wrecked. Some things I like about con turrets is that they have really good range, but they can't move. So I'm just continuing to press into this guy with my units. I'm trying to repair and reclaim and just do everything at once. I started at T2 here, but I was like, man, that's too far forward. I hate, like, when tactical missiles get put up here and I have to deal with all that. I hate it. So I put it a little bit further back just to be safe. It's not necessarily safe to have your T2 in the front, but living life on the edge here. If I think I can get away with it, I definitely will do it. Because one of the other things is I want to build this up here, so I can be building T2 up here and back here at the same time. Whistlers are not a frontline unit. They are a support unit. Yep. Oh, yeah, I remember. I noticed that, like, the guy was not paying attention to his commander, so I'm just like, oh, yeah, I'll just blow it up. But one thing I don't have right now is resbots on quota. So it's tough. Like, there's gonna be these moments where my aggression just stalls out because I went T2 a little too early, or tried doing things in the wrong order. Like here, it's like, okay, I'm stalling. Like I need to get reclaim right now to keep things moving. So my com's taking stuff before I'm taking mechs. And I would just... This is annoying. Like, the thing about thugs is that they're slow. Which is maybe a consideration. I love medium tanks, and maybe at this point I should be transitioning to medium tanks, because that means that I can start I can be at more places effectively on time. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, tanks are faster. I'd be able to jump over here and then back and forth more efficiently, quickly, whatever. And this is just like, what are you doing, Red? Well, he doesn't have many mechs. There's some reclaim on the ground. Oh. I didn't remember seeing that happen, but this guy is he's got look all of his metal extractors are stalling. He started building T2. Yeah. And now he's building a jammer. So in this situation, it's like you gotta manage your you need energy first before you do the energy intensive projects, because like right now his mechs are stalling. And the sooner you build a resource building, the longer it has to pay you back. So I just don't agree with like building these jammers before he has the energy for it. And then this is like, man, blue keeps coming and messing with me, and red is just chilling, dude. When you see this, like, he can't be at two places at once, just like I can't be at two places at once. And you can be at least one place at once if you want to be meaningfully contributing rather than just kind of sitting there and chilling. It's 11 minutes and red has not received a T2, nor has orange. Nor has white. He has shared 2 at 11 minutes. So, okay. We need to talk about this. You need 20 windmills. I'm just going to say the tech build order now. Spawn here. Grab this max, like that. And then you can continue walking to grab the last 2. I don't like doing that. Start here, walk, grab these. Probably a solar, bot lab, 4 cons, give the first to air. 2 res bots to grab the reclaim, and then build 20 wind, start your T2, and you don't necessarily need to blow your comm, but you can. It's been a while since I've done it. Usually, like, okay, it's faster to blow your comm, that's for sure. But you're losing the income from the commander and the build power by doing it. So sometimes people start paying and then you're not prepared. So like, oh, you also need to repair or reclaim your bot lab. And then you build 1 T2. And you need some energy storage at some point. When you start floating with energy while you're building your 20 windmills, you have 2 or 3 energy storage. And then, okay, like, build 1 T2 constructor. Build 2 T2 mechs. And then share to the entire team. And by, like, 10 minutes, everyone should get their con, and then you've done your most important job for tech. And then you can just spam butlers. build anti-nuke here, and an anti-nuke there, leaving no gaps here, or here. There's going to be big circles. You want to have them so that they're covering one here that's covering all these bases, and one here that's covering all these bases. And then you can spam wind and T1 until you feel comfortable to make some fusions, and then you make T3. Okay, anyway, so we're back to this. Sorry, I see that and it's just like, you gotta be on it. Fortunately, the T2 situation over here is going incredibly wrong too. I mean, I'm just chilling, man. Like, I'm fronting so well. I'll just build my own. I'm gonna be annoyed, but I'm good. And then, since I'm not feeling any pressure, I'm gonna start making twitchers. And these twitchers can, well, in this situation I have con turrets, so they can assist this up here. And these twitchers will go back here and assist this. And I'm gonna hotkey this guy, so I'm gonna tap a max walk, tap a max walk, and the twitchers will complete the max behind it and then catch up, grab this. And the reason you do that is because the construction bot is so slow compared to the twitchers. So it's the same concept as my previous videos I was talking about you can do with vehicle cons. But if you're in this luxurious situation, you can do bot lab. And twitchers provide pretty good energy. I'm curious, I think vehicle cons provide, oh, they provide 10. 95 build power. 10 energy. 125 build power. 15 energy. They actually have some e-storage too. That's cool. I'm just thinking of those stats. I'm like, which one is better? I don't know. I still like my twitchers. They move much faster. So even if the stats are a little bit the base stats might possibly be better or comparable to a twitcher or a butler, these things move way faster. And I'm gonna, throughout this game, I'm gonna learn some benefits of having these twitchers on the front line as well. So one thing is I can use them as res bots that just can't res. So sometimes I'll have them repair. Sometimes I will have them reclaim. And I'm going to, over time, get really liberal with their use of being able to make twin guard towers and pork. It looks like they can also build fiends, which is cool. Termites. They can build a lot of stuff, and flak. That's very valuable. They can also build con turrets and commando. I don't know if a commando's, I don't know what they're good for. I'm also, there was a time, I'm just gonna look at this as well. Decoy commanders, I can't look at the stats of them, but you might want to consider those as well. I did do that at one point. These don't get used a whole lot. There was one game a long time ago, but I just, like, I honestly just forgot about the existence of this unit until, like, right now. But I think they have decent build power for the cost. I just don't know what the other stats are. Definitely has more HP. So I'm sending these twitchers to get my T2 up as fast as I can. I'm gonna notice that I'm e-stalling it, and I'm like, I guess I'm making a solar, and sometimes I'm just gonna build normal solar now. And oh well, I'm stalling on M, but well, I guess I killed a lot of units, so I guess go reclaim those. And then also the Twitchers can grab these mechs as well. And this is annoying. Good thing Red's kind of being aggressive a little bit. But I did not notice this. Well, he has a con now, but I didn't notice that. There's going to be situations where you need to step up. In general, it's better to the T2 factory itself is just such a huge investment. It kind of stalls your aggression in the lane a lot of the times unless you have everything banked up already. But I'm talking about like going early T2 is really dangerous if you can't hold the lane, yeah, or if you're not already like winning the lane hard and pushing in. There's maps that are all front, and you want to be careful about multiple people building T2 at the same time, because that's when like everybody stops building units to reinforce their lane. Or you know what I'm saying? Like you can't build units and T2 blah. This factory is 3,000 metal. That's 30. That's like 28 thugs, for example, that aren't fighting. And that's going to mean that you're quite possibly going to lose ground during that transition. So the later you delay the transition is usually better. And also, it's better to have one person build the T2 and share rather than everybody build their own. And those are just some of the many reasons, like the general gist of it, I guess. But like I'm when I'm building this, I'm not only looking at the metal that I have in storage, but also what's available to me on the ground that I am confident that I can secure. And every once in a while I'll just continue poking when I feel like it's a viable thing to do. Unfortunately, I don't have much repairing these thugs, so this is gonna stall out. Oof, red. So at some point I tell Blue, like, if you keep coming up I told Blue, you can bully Red all you want, but you're not gonna touch me. It'll be like massive vindication moment for me. And he's like, why you talk like that? Boo-hoo. Yeah, even like this guy doesn't have much metal income now, and if I'm continuing to be aggressive and poking it away at this, he's not going to be able to take it back, and that's less that I have to deal with. It's also less that he gifts me, but you know, I can get the full cost instead of getting gifted half the metal. I could just take out his mechs and build one of my own. Mauser, Quakers are annoying. I do not enjoy. Yeah, I saw this opportunity here. I don't think I purposely sent that at his base, but I did. I saw the opportunity to take out their metal extractors, so I did. Yeah, I think Blue would have. This would have been a lot tougher if T2 was shared in a reasonable amount of time. So, I didn't notice this during the game, but as you can see, like, my energy, not my energy, I am 15,000 ahead of anyone else on metal, and it's because of these reasons that, like, I'm being very efficient with my units, and I can obviously do this much better. Like, there are some games, like, you just resbots repairing your thugs is so powerful. Or repairing your units is just so powerful in general. Getting your metal as fast as you can, incredibly powerful. Having build power, um, using solar, or being willing to use solar are some great things that you can do. And when all those other things come together, you can you're gonna have more reclaim, and it's just like all these things that work together into this. Like, you look at it and it's just like, well, how do you do that? It's terrifying. He's 15,000 metal in more than anyone else. That's nuts. I'm starting to like fiends, but fiends kind of suck. Sumos, I like sumos. They're kind of slow. I'm just like lately just been learning the utility of bots. Arbiters are pretty underwhelming. Being willing to make tactical nukes is very helpful. Even better if you can have them built before your opponent. So a lot of times on glitters, it becomes this thing in T2 where it's just like up until T2, or it's just like a standoff of turrets. Tactical missiles are really good for clearing that up. And you want to get yours up before the opponent, because whoever shoots first can take out the other person's tactical missile. I'm not sure there's a whole lot. Well, I'm going to speed this up. There's not a whole lot more to say. This is where I'm probably like, man, Quakers, this is annoying. Get out of here. Nobody, I don't got time for that. You see, most of the time I'm not building military units. I'm just like building Twitchers, and I think I'm slacking a lot because I only have 7 Twitchers. But also, I was building other things, I guess, like these fiends to fight off aggression or apply aggression. And Blues just, he continues to be annoying, and I'm just thinking, man, you don't want to poke this bear. Like, you just keep having fun with red. So, you can bully red all you want, but you don't touch me. You're him, dude. Typing in all chat like that. Child. Please. So, okay, so this gets annoying. Like, how do you hold this ground? Especially in free-for-alls, like, you have to be ready at every single angle. So, Twitchers are really good for, any mobile build powers are really good. I think Twitchers are probably the safest. I'm thinking, Butlers, I don't know if Butlers build any too many military units or point defense. So yeah, arm is I used to main arm for like the first 700 hours of gameplay. This is just like a random number, but I almost exclusively played arm. I love bulls. Bulls are great. Um, butlers are amazing, but like core has Shivas. They have Twitchers. And they have thugs. Like, I love those units. So anyway, uh, all these mechs are untaken. So every once in a while, I'm just like, I have all of these Twitchers at this point. So I'm gonna point, point, point. I'm going to just like send these out randomly to hopefully safely as well. Because I don't want to just throw them away, but I'll be setting up. I make a whole bunch of T2 constructors to tap these mechs to have the Twitchers come in, because again, that's better than convert or APHIS economy, efficiency with resources wise. And I noticed Twitchers don't make they don't make pop-up turrets, but they do make twin laser turrets, which are still pretty good, and pork, and those two together is pretty amazing. And I just realized in this match that I can, like, this is really annoying. They keep poking at me, and I just have, I don't want to keep having my attention divided, so I'm just gonna build all this and then never have to worry about it ever again. So I'm setting up upgrading mechs. I'm setting up some defenses. And one thing you won't see me doing at least this last week, is making like a 4x4 grid. The giant APHIS engine. I'm actually, like, I keep trying to kind of do something that looks like it, but construction turrets are just completely unnecessary compared to Twitchers and butlers. So I don't even know why I'm doing this, to be honest. They just take up space. But the next thing I do, well, these are good for, like, I was thinking of setting this up to build my T3 finally. It's getting about that time for T3, about 20 minutes. But I don't like them chaining and blowing up. So even if I'm building an engine at this point, like, if one construction turret blows up, they all do. It's just dumb. I don't want to deal with that. So I space them out like that, and then you'll see my base will just be like a big chunk of con turrets like that, and then I'll just sneak in whatever I need in there and build resources on the outskirts. But also, if you have mobile build power, your eco doesn't have to all be at one place. So I'll build like a stack of APHIS there, a stack of APHIS there, and converters somewhere else. And I'd like to, as I'm getting better with it, be able to showcase that better. I guess there's not much left to be said, except, like, I feel so happy to have these tremors dealt with. I just hate getting attritioned by these things. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to express my love for Twitchers in a way that fully represents how much I love Twitchers. And fiends just run down them Quakers in this situation. So one thing that annoys me is tactics in this game. You can get me on tactics a few times, but my ultimate goal is fundamentals with economy. And you can get me with that tactical missile or this heavy artillery or that other thing maybe a few times and win, even though I'm winning on eco. But I prefer to concentrate on the fundamentals, and stupid stuff just stops working on you when you're winning on eco like this. Like, you can't even defend these tremors, and I can just run in and clean things up with fiends. And I'm just reclaiming everything, and the game's basically over. This guy refuses to surrender.
Battle ended.
Okay, cool. Let's do the Sulphur. Sulphur Springs is one of my favorite maps. Actually, yeah, maybe I'll do 2 separate videos. Yeah, I'm going to do 2 separate videos. So I'm going to make a Sulphur Springs and Glacial Gap, I think. At least Sulphur Springs.